Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's me, Shabir, the guest of the show. Unfortunately, our dear host, Hassan, is having a few technical issues. Until he's online, I'm just going to talk about true wills. So, over the last four episodes, we've had Mohammed Suleiman and Hassan discuss all about true wills, or in fact, Islamic wills, and then the importance of Islamic wills and why you should consider creating an Islamic will if you haven't. So today I would be kind of sharing some of the insights as one of the co-founders of True Wills on our approach to how we went about creating True Wills, our motivation around setting up something like True Wills, and what we want to try and achieve with True Wills. So before I give out more details, let's see if Hassan is still around. Now you'd imagine after four shows, our honorable speaker or guest host, would have his headphones sorted. Sorry, Hassan, I'm just using this opportunity to have a little fun with you. So the whole reason we started True Wills was to make the Islamic will creation process easy. When you talk about Islamic wills, it's not something that everybody is up for. Personally, myself, it's not something I considered, or it's not something that I knew at the start, right? And it's something that I learned over the years, and thanks to Ustad Muhammad Suleiman, we've learned a lot just on the importance of Islamic wills. And within the reason creating an Islamic will, there is a lot of concerns that people have around creating an Islamic will. People are not ready. The topic of death is not something that people wish to think about or something they want to address. So we want to try change that mentality with True Wills. We want to make sure that whole will creation process is easy, and something that is available at your fingertips and at your convenient, to go about fulfilling your Islamic obligations. And we've had a few approaches around this, and one of the key missions that we are on with True Wills is, how do we bring delight around this topic of Islamic wills, the creation of Islamic wills. And the biggest thing that we identified was like the awareness around Islamic wills, and it's not something everybody is aware of, right? What do you need to create an Islamic will? At which point in my life should I be creating an Islamic will? So what we started doing was we started hosting a lot of webinars. I think from October 2019, no, not 2020. Sorry, I'm still a year behind, still catching up. So since October 2020, we've started, educating people around Islamic wills. It's just basic awareness, trying to spread the message around the importance of creating an Islamic will. And what we found out was like a lot of people didn't really know what was needed to create an Islamic will, or the information that they required in hand to create an Islamic will. So, and a lot of people had a lot of questions around, who can my guardians be? Who are the executors? What is an executor? And then you come across certain questions where we working around the Islamic, not Islamic tax, but the inheritance tax. How that subject on its own works.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I can.
I'm terribly sorry about that. Oh my God, I had the worst 10 minutes of my life. Sorry. No,
And,
Jazakallah for pitching in, man, and like, stalling everyone. Thank you. You did a good job. I could hear you in the background.
I was definitely praising you, so don't worry. So you've not lost anything.
Yeah, I heard otherwise, but that's totally fine. Um, Right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you again for tuning into the Islamic World Show. With great sadness, it is our last week. Alhamdulillah, we were blessed enough to be granted another show by the Ramadan FM team. So huge shout out to everyone who are working behind the scenes. Thank you. Now, this show is a little different. In the previous four shows, we had our honorable guest, Mohammed Suleiman, who is the CEO and co-founder of True Growth. Those episodes are available on Ramadan FM's YouTube channel and Facebook page. So we discussed multiple areas within Islamic will writing. We talked about what an Islamic will is compared to an English will. We looked at how the guardians are appointed, executors and trustees, making a wasiya itself, leaving behind a third to other than the legal heirs. And last week we talked about inheritance tax. Um, so this week, Alhamdulillah, we have another special guest on the show who you're all familiar with, who has done the courtesy of introducing himself, mashallah. Uh, Shabir Shefa is our co-founder who oversees product and technology, and he's pretty much the brainchild behind True Wills, the entire platform, mashallah. So True Wills, Shabir's probably briefed you on. It's a platform that allows you to create an Islamic will in as little as 20 minutes from the comfort of your home. Now, Shabir, I am going to read your bio here, mashallah. I think it's a must that the people and the listeners know a bit about who you are. So you are a business information technology master's graduate with over 10 years of experience delivering software as a service. You within engineering and product management. Am I right? That's right, isn't it, Mohammed Shabir? I should have rehearsed
Yes.
this beforehand.
No, no,
Excellent.
yes.
So you are a software engineer turned product enthusiast. Leading product UX and cross-functional engineering teams. So which has helped drastically mashallah in this space of True Rules in the agile environment that we've tried to build. So alhamdulillah, you do have a passion for product, which has really shone uh, in the years over the years I've known you. How long have I known you? A couple of years now, isn't it? Mashallah. I don't know. See, it's so hard to keep track of time because of COVID. I feel like that year is void.
Even I
So,
lost a year when I was talking earlier. I think I was introduced to you in I think November 2019 when we had dinner at Mohammed's.
okay, mashallah. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's the
less than
first
two
time. Yeah,
years. Yeah. Okay, alhamdulillah. No, sorry, it's more than 2 years. No, sorry, it's a year and a half. What am I on about?
year and a half.
Okay,
Yeah,
alhamdulillah. Okay, excellent.
we're all still catching up with losing one year.
Yeah, exactly. Now, full disclaimer, everyone. I myself am too a co-founder and CMO of Truebills, but that will allow Shabir to throw any questions back at me in today's discussion,
I'll
which is totally
definitely be
fine.
testing your knowledge, Hassan, from what you've learned over the last 4 weeks with Mohammed Suleiman.
Well, I'm glad I've got some notes in front of me, then that'll help. Right, before we do begin and go into the True Rules related questions, a couple of icebreaker questions. I think
Oh God.
yeah. It's always nice, isn't it? It's always nice. I mean, just to warm people up before the show itself.
I think I had the pleasure of warming before you came, so yeah, I'm good to go now. Let's do this.
Are you sure? Okay, we can skip some of the icebreaker questions if you want. I do want to ask you one though. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
the whole list of. You are, mashallah, a technological expert in the product space. If you had any other skill that you could be an expert in, what would it be and why? It's quite intriguing for me
So
to know.
something that's not technical, something not
Yeah,
related.
completely like it could be completely the opposite of what you currently do, like anything.
Oof. I think it'll be about around mindfulness, because that's that's
Right.
that's the that's a topic I've enjoyed quite a lot over the last couple of years, and I think I've like even joined a conference last year where they had a topic around mindfulness. But then again, it relates back to how we work, but there is a wide aspect of that whole mindfulness topic and how one could apply it to themselves. Um, so I think that's probably one skill I'd really like to be an expert on. Because if
Right.
you look like our daily lives, right, we're all busy, running in that hamster wheel. We don't really take the time out to think about anything other than our daily routine. How to be mindful of the next person who is next to us? If you're traveling in the tube, how do we be mindful of the place we are in? There's these little things that we could be a bit more mindful in life, and certainly use that in aspect of our religion as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember looking into this a couple of years ago, actually, and I too struggle with I guess having complete 100% attention on one particular task at a time. I
Hmm.
mean, physically I'm there, but emotionally or mentally I'm just somewhere else slightly.
Exactly.
But what I found was one thing that really helped was trying to build khushu in salah. Like I felt
Mm.
like when I tried to do that, other things automatically like came into place. Like it made me be able to concentrate more doing work, doing family, whatever it is I'm doing, right? Just on the back of trying to build khushu and salah. That was just something that a little hack that I picked up along the along the way.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean it all ties up with mindfulness, right? I think in the corporate world they just call it mindfulness, but there is definite connection with the deen. Um, so like if we could kind of master that, we'll probably be in a next level.
yeah. It'll be like Bradley Cooper from Limitless when he unlocks the
Exactly,
learning
exactly.
process.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
excellent, excellent. No, that's good. I'm glad I asked you that question. It was good to know. So right, we're going to get on to the true wills related questions,
Yeah.
which is I have a full list. So which I'm actually excited to talk about today in depth because I think obviously over the past sort of few weeks we've been talking about different areas within the Islamic will writing space, but we never really got to talk about the intricacies of the actual product itself
Yeah.
and what True Wills has achieved and brought about. Now it is something quite innovative. It is mashallah the first of its kind,
Yeah.
and it, you and the team have done incredible work to bring this to life, mashallah. I want to ask something like this. How long did the actual product build to take? Take to build rather
Yeah.
from the very get go. Yeah.
I think that whole, like, if we unpack how we define product build, right, we definitely spent a lot of time understanding the requirements and trying to make sure that we are building the right thing. So we went through that process, and that probably took us like a couple of months, probably a bit more than a couple of months, just understanding the requirements we wanted, and like we understood why we were building this. So when I put my product lens on it, like I made sure that everybody knew what we were trying to build and achieve. Like once this is built, like what are we trying to achieve? Just allowing people to create wills is probably not the best. Like that is the end goal, but how do we be a bit more focused on our minimum viable product? What's the least piece of work that we have to invest in to get users to actually engage with the portal? So that took a bit of time, just making sure we everybody in the team kind of understood what we were building. And then the second part of it was like deciding the technology around how we built this. And there were a few options we could have taken. And we are building something quite unique, and we want to make sure that multiple use cases could be linked with what we offer with True Wells. And we didn't want to close any further opportunities that we could link True Wells with. So because of that, we were quite conscious on the technology that we used, how and how where we hosted, what does that technology stack look like. And on the side, like parallelly, I was working with a designer, um, trying to understand, okay, how do we make this a seamless experience to our users? What are the key touch points we need to keep them engaged with, and at which points of that user journey will they actually be convinced to register. So there were quite a few things that were running parallelly. So I think the design work probably took like a month and a half too, because once we got the initial designs, we had to give feedback, iterate on it, remove any just fine, not overly fine tune it, but make sure we have something that's viable. And at the same time, the engineering team was working on this parallel, setting up the what we call it as a walking skeleton, getting the foundational frameworks ready, the bare bones or the mechanics set up. So once the designs were ready, we just had to plug and play. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, there was a lot more that happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, I
But
mean, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, I was obviously part of the process, and
mm,
with I mean, one of the things you would have had to deal with is my overdrive of OCD. So, the
Alhamdulillah,
concept of taking the minimum viable product was thrown out the window by me, but mashallah, you managed to stick to it, which is good. I think.
Alhamdulillah, but we still delivered an MVP, right? And like if like to answer your question, we actually started development on this. I think July 2020 last year, uh,
Yeah.
and then we managed to release this as a first version. What we call it as an early access phase, where we launch this to close friends and family to validate for feedback. So I think that happened in March. So July
Yeah, that
probably
was
took us like
nice.
8 months.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, it was nice to get that. I mean, because
Mm,
before I met you, to my understanding, it was always like you just build a product and then you launch and get it out there as quick as possible. But to incorporate the early access phase, ask your nearest and dearest, for
mm.
feedback, get them to complete a will, see where there are any bugs or issues, and just really fine tuning it in the sense that when it does launch, and mashallah, when we did launch in the first of Ramadan, then the general public won't experience those difficulties or
No, no,
no issues.
absolutely.
Alhamdulillah, which we found, mashallah, we've had obviously sign-ups, we've had people
Mm,
complete their will, and it all seems to be going in a positive direction, mashallah. Now,
absolutely.
what I wanted to ask you, Shabir, is what in your opinion makes True Will so unique, apart from being the UK's first Islamic
Mm,
will portal. Sorry, that was probably the one that first struck to mind. So you're gonna have to think of something else now. What
yeah.
is it that makes our platform so unique? Compared to the others in the market.
Yeah, I think it's the experience we provide of creating an Islamic will, at your own convenience. Um, like I said, during my preamble at the start, creating an Islamic will, has a lot riding on you, right? And there's a lot of mental stress that just goes around when you start thinking of this. And this is not something that you would easily just get and done and dusted with. Your life constantly changes, and you need to make sure your will reflects those changes. And that's what we provide, that convenience and that ease of use, um, via True Wills. And apart from that, we are there to help and support you throughout this entire journey. We're not like, once you created your will or signed up, we're not just going to let you off. We're going to guide you throughout that entire process, keep you informed of all the changes that's happening. So there is a more personalized experience with what you have on True Wills.
Excellent, and yeah, absolutely. I think that was one of the top priorities. I think when we first initiated and started to sketch out what the platform will look like, it
Right.
was the customer experience and
Mm,
really guiding somebody through it. Really dumbing down the words and the jargon and things like that. So to eradicate the confusion that everyday
exactly.
Muslims would generally have around this. And I think one more thing that's wonderful is that the platform actually allows users to jump on a live chat with the team. And I know Mohammed, mashallah, he himself is manning the live chat
Mm,
feature. So, you're having direct access to a qualified lawyer, who's been doing Islamic law writing for over 10 years. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Any question you have around growth, you can just easily jump on. You're going to the man himself to have all your queries answered. And I think that for me really stood out as a unique proposition.
It's like having your own Islamic will solicitor at your fingertips, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the chat is free. Like you can just go on and ask questions on generally what other. I mean, I'm not saying I know anyone specifically who does this, but solicitors in general, I'm sure throughout consultations they'd probably charge for certain questions. And alhamdulillah, it's here at your fingertips, like you said, the convenience of doing it at any time in the comfort of your own home, using your own mobile phone. Alhamdulillah. Now, what was your I guess we've discussed your level of involvement, mashallah. You've already answered that question, but what motivated you to build such a product? I mean, will space is not the most exciting products or topics. Mashallah, I know in your career you've been a part of some exciting projects, things that are revolutionizing, mashallah. So what motivated you to actually build a product that allows people to create an Islamic world?
I think there's a few angles to it. One thing that's always stuck in my head is like, there was this statement made by one of the startup founders back in Sri Lanka. Now he spoke about how talent in the country is always going outside and developing innovative solutions outside the country, and the whole topic of talent drain and everything, and it got me thinking in terms of like what am I doing back to the giving back to the community or the people, and that's always been in my head. So like if I build something, how does that not just about making the money out of it, but what is my social impact that I would be giving, or what is my digital footprint that I would leave if I build something, once I leave this earth, like what would I done with the skills I've acquired or learned over the years, and that's always been a motivator for me. And when this topic of Islamic wills, creating something online came up, I spoke to Muhammad, I was like, we could do something totally different here. And rather than build something unique, and that's how we kind of came into it. So my personal motivation has been around leaving my digital footprint, and making sure this is the way I see it. It is a form of sadaqah jariyah that I'm leaving. I'm working towards educating the Muslims in fulfilling one of their Islamic obligations. So.
Jazakallah. We're just going to, sorry to interrupt you, but we're just going to quickly go to an ad break in a few seconds. And then inshallah, once we return, we'll resume.
Radio Ramadan, 87.9 FM, keeping you company throughout the holy month.
Awarded the UK's Best Muslim Charity of the Year, Muslim Global Relief, bringing hope to life for 20 years in over 40 countries around the world. Every water pump you helped to install, every needy person you helped to feed, every orphan child that you sent to school has a powerful impact on people's lives. Let us continue to make change. Make a 100% zakat donation today. Visit muslimglobalrelief.org.
Ramadan Mubarak from Adam Accounting Services.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Need help with your accounts and tax work?
Contact us today on 01908 692 380 and see how we can help.
Adam Accounting Services, friendly local accountants. Call us today on 01908 692 380.
Come and visit us at Al Ansar and find fantastic deals on food and drink. At Al Ansar, we specialize in Asian groceries and HMC halal meat. We stock products from all over the world and have everything you need this Ramadan. From big packs of rice, flour and oil to dates, treats and snacks. You can find us at 153 Queens Way in Bletchley or call us on 01908 411 334.
waffles, crepes, cookie dough, ice cream, just what you need after a long day of fasting. Dessert Island is open until 1 a.m. during Ramadan, 7 days a week, and there is free parking at the rear. Come and see us at 116 to 118 Queensway, Bletchley. We can even deliver. Just visit desert-island.co.uk or download the app.
Your wealth, your religion, your children, are they safe? If you live in England or Wales, you need a will. Find out all about this religious duty with Hassan and Muhammad Suleiman every Tuesday 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with a live Q&A on each show, The Islamic Will Show with Hassan and Muhammad Suleiman, exclusive on Ramadan FM.
Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. I'm Zahida from the short reminder show Way to the Quran. Each week I'll be reading to you extracts from Way to the Quran. It's a book by Khurram Murad, and some other extracts to deepen our relation with Quran by listening to the most captivating words of wisdom. To listen to the extracts, please tune in after Zuhur Azan on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
For a list of all our sponsors, please visit ramadanfm.com.
Ramadan, 87.9 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back, everyone, to the show. Jazakallah khair for tuning in. This is the Islamic Will Show. It takes place every Tuesday, but unfortunately, it is the last one this week. Not unfortunately, I think, mashallah, it's a nice way to end the show by having one of our co-founders and the head of product and technology, Shabir. So just before we went on to an ad break, we were talking about the motivation behind creating such a platform. Now, mashallah, Shabir mentioned about leaving, I guess, a positive digital footprint and doing something, I guess, for the greater good, using the skills that Allah has blessed him with, and a form of sadaqah jariyah, and Shabir, I really love that point. I think that was one of my main motivators as well.
I was just going to ask you as well, like, if you flip it on the other side, like for you, what has been your biggest motivations?
I think for me it was like trying to create something that no one's ever done. I think that was like one of the sure, there's other things that would motivate me to volunteer for a charity or help towards a building of a mosque. Those are amazing projects as well, but for me it was more so doing something that no one's really done, being the first of its kind. And I guess that was something that I always wanted to do, and alhamdulillah, we managed to do it. And for us, it's now the platform's there, but now we really need to get it out there to ensure that the Muslim Ummah in the UK, mashallah, is for me the goal is to have every sane, and I say sane because it's one of the legal requirements of having a will, sane over 18. Resident of the UK, have a Muslim, have an Islamic will. I think that's the ultimate goal, really. And one of the ways to get it out is by introducing yourself, having Muhammad on shows like this, and that's why I'm really looking forward to, inshallah, being back next year on this particular show and really talking about the developments that True Wills has embarked upon over the year. I think that will be a really interesting month once we are back next year, inshallah, and then hopefully having you back on as well on one of the shows,
inshallah,
to really talking about where we've gone and come from, etc. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely, because the next 1 year is going to be exciting for us. As we are just launching this, and I think Mohammed Suleiman mentioned last week a few sneak peeks on some exciting news that we might have in the next month or so. So where would that take us in the next 1 year? So inshallah.
Exciting times. So much planned. Sorry to interrupt. Go on, Ashik. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, exciting times ahead with what we would be doing with True Wills.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you keep us on tabs with the Trello board. So we always so for anyone who doesn't know what Trello is, I don't know if this is technically a shout out, but I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but
it is, but it'll help everybody.
Yeah, inshallah. It's one of those project management tools that you can. It basically just helps you manage your life. Like, honestly, it really helps you prioritize the things you need to and keep on top of everything. I call it a second brain, don't I? I think it's just once you dump everything on there. Once you dump everything on there, it's you know, because I think part of doing things is also worrying about knowing what to do and when to do it. Like you spend half of your time, or a large portion of your time is just spent worrying on what you need to get done and keeping tabs to remember everything. And I think once you just jot it all down, like alhamdulillah, so that was a lifesaver. And I've actually started to implement Trello with my own personal day-to-day, my house bills and things like that. Like really have started to even I was telling my wife I need to invite her on there so we can any errands or things that we need to have, short-term, long-term priorities, low effort, high effort, all the way you've modeled it for us. I just want to adjust it to my life as well, inshallah.
No, that's interesting, because I did something similar when we were having the baby. I was telling the missus, what she was like, we need to buy so many things. Like, let's just put it down. We didn't use Trello, we just put it down on like sticky notes. We were like, okay, let's prioritize absolutely the most important things.
You have like a Gantt chart at home.
Yeah.
No, it's good to hear, mashallah. So yeah, next question, Shabir. I guess this one is probably most for me to answer because of the conversations I guess I've been having with Mohammed. But I want to ask who can use this platform. And again, going back to what I said earlier, really, it is anyone who is over 18, same as mine, and who has really anything to possess. As the hadith goes, if you have anything to bequeath, don't let 2 nights pass without having written a will about it. So if you've got anything, subhanAllah, and you are over 18 and you're listening and you are a Muslim living in the UK, there is really no excuse to create a will. And in fact, there is actually an obligation in Islam, because if you were to die without one, your wealth will be distributed according to intestacy laws. You can never pronounce that word. Which actually isn't in accordance with Sharia. So if you are Muslim living in the UK, it does fall into a religious obligation. Next question I have for Shabir is,
yes,
how can somebody benefit from? I guess before, see, I have this question, but I think I need to provide some context around it before I ask you. I think a question that you might have for me actually to from experience over the past 4 odd weeks or whatever, what can be included in a will? Because I know Muhammad mashallah mentioned this a few times. We talked about in your particular Islamic will having you can include pretty much anything in there in terms of your wishes, leaving instructions behind for your loved ones, whether they're your funeral wishes, and where you want to be buried, how you want to be buried, and of course how you want to be buried is in accordance with Islamic guidelines. If there's any messages that you'd like to leave for your loved ones. I know mashallah in the wills that we've had, people leave some lovely messages behind, mashallah, which are really thoughtful. So it is good to start thinking about these things before you actually go on to completing it. But that's the beauty, I think, about True Wills, is that you can actually log in and all your progress is actually saved, so you can go back in any time and continue. And I found that people. When we look at the back end, we see that some people actually pause during the executor stage, the trustee stage, or the guardian stage, the guardians of who will look after children who are under 18, if none of the surviving parents are alive.
And just to add some personal experience on that, when I was first looking at creating my Islamic will, there were questions around the guardian that I didn't really know that I had to enter. And it didn't, and I did not create my will at that instance. I had to, go back, have these discussions with the missus, and then get back to this, right? So what it meant was like I had to start that entire process from scratch, and that was one of the key pain points we identified, like when we were researching around how do we improve this experience. And one of the reasons, again, to, like I mentioned earlier, like why we built True Wills and the whole experience that we provide as part of this. You want to be like, and touching on to your point, Hassan, like you want to be able to like pick up from where you left off, right? Because there's a lot of information that you add as part of your will, and you just want to not start over, but just continue. So alhamdulillah for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a big thing. Absolutely. I mean, when I was writing mine, you really have to to remember that this piece of document is, pretty much all that you will have left.
Yeah.
Well, I guess aside from any
It's something that you
assets,
leave, right? Yeah.
but it's something that subhanallah, your family will look at, and it's the last sort of, I guess, memory that they'll have of you, where they are reading your instructions, where they're reading your heartwarming messages, and so there is thought that needs to go behind it. But saying that, we shouldn't delay it either. Subhanallah, it's one of those things that especially this year, we've seen the number of deaths, during COVID. You see all around the world. I mean, we don't even need to start on the unfortunate tragedies, if I can pronounce the word, tragedies that are taking place.
It's scaling not your day-to-day, Hassan.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, I was saying just before during the advert, subhanAllah, I accidentally exited the broadcast studio. So my tab closed, and then I had to rush back in just before the advert ended. But mashallah, yeah, mashallah, Muhammad's little one though, he's on it. Like he's on the board. Like he's telling us how many seconds to go on the advert. He's reminding me to unmute myself. Like mashallah, I wish I had Musa managing this in the past 4 weeks as well. Not to say that Muhammad didn't do a great job, but his son.
Oh, shots fired.
No, they both done a great job.
Yeah.
Like father, like son, isn't it? So.
Yeah, a massive thank you to Musa, for facilitating this for us today. So Musa, thank you.
Thank you, Musa. Shout out to you, inshallah. When we pop down, a present is in order, inshallah. Inshallah. Shabir, you can think of something.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
I had a question for you, Hassan. I think this has come up before, and I think it's good mentioning again. And this is something we would be, having to mention quite often, and a common question. Is the will that we provide on True Wills via the portal legally binding?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. When I speak to family and friends, in fact, the other day, I saw one of my good friends, bumped into him, and I was telling him. I mean, I find any opportunity to promote the True Wills platform to anyone I see. I'll just quickly open up the. Even after Tarawih, like when you're walking out and you see an old friend or whatever, oh, by the way, I've managed this platform. I look after the marketing. Have a look, and I'll actually pull out my phone and show them the website itself, and just so I can try to spread the word, inshallah. But anyways, the common question that I am faced with is it legally binding? Is it overlooked by professionals? How do I know it will stand in the eyes of the court, so to speak? So just to show everyone, absolutely, our wills are obviously legally binding. They have to be, otherwise, there'd be no point of doing this project. So yeah, they are legally binding. They're valid in UK, in England and Wales specifically. But to make it legally binding, you do need to sign it alongside 2 witnesses. So once you've completed your Islamic will, submitted it for expert checking, Mohammed will then, our CEO, will basically look at every single will to ensure that it's compliant with both Islamic and English law. And then if there's some issue, or if there's something that needs to be amended, no problem. He'll just send you a courtesy email to ask you to change bits inside of your will from the portal, so you can log back in, edit your will, resubmit it, and then Mohammed will check again. And once he is completely satisfied that the will is complies to both Islamic and English law, he'll sign it off. You'll receive a notification, you'll download it, sign it, and then get your 2 witnesses to also sign it. And once that's done, it's pretty much legally binding. Absolutely. And we are obviously, sorry, I was going to say, we are obviously, we do have both an English, UK rather, qualified solicitor manning this, and we are approved by an Islamic scholar as well, mashallah, who oversees our portal and our will documents as well. Alhamdulillah. So there's I guess guarantee and the satisfaction from both sides.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I was just going to ask you on that topic. You mentioned about the will being downloaded and signed, to make it legally binding. So who should actually be signing those as a witness?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So I guess you could have pretty much anyone signing it, as far as I recollect. we'll have to confirm with Mohammed if they can or cannot be your legal heirs. Something tells me that it can't be your legal heirs that can sign it, but I'll have to confirm with Mohammed anyway. I know the questions, and we do have a huge list of questions on our website, truewords.co.uk. So on the FAQ section, if anybody has questions around that particular topic, then they can just log in and have a look. And again, the Q&A is also live as well, inshallah, which is directly associated with Mohammed's mobile phone, alhamdulillah. So he's always there to answer the questions. But yeah, when it comes to executors, Shabir, it's very important that executors and trustees are someone who are of some sort of financial acumen and who understand how to do, basic paperwork at the very least.
Yeah.
And I guess it's good to define the two, executors
and the trustees.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to obviously be over 18. They need to be someone who's trustworthy. And with
I'm glad you mentioned that. It's the point around someone who could manage finances and paperwork, because I think that plays a key part. Like you could be over 18, but if you are signed with someone's estate and managed the next steps of it, you would struggle, right? So I mean there are, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are 18-year-olds who would easily manage this stuff, but I don't think this was something that in my strong suit when I was 18. But yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm glad you kind of cleared that. Hassan, are you with me? Oh, we've lost the host again.
Am I not in? Can you not hear me, Shabir?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, apologies. My apologies. It's definitely not my day today. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. But definitely when I was 18, God knows what I was up to. So I agree. I agree 100%. There are definitely people out there who can. But it's just, it's such an important document. You want to ensure that whoever's going to be applying for probate after you die, who's going to be managing the trust that you've left behind, these things need to be handled by someone that you can, really trust. Pun intended. But with the will itself, sometimes things change. You might move homes, you might have a child, you might purchase another property. And actually going back to what can be included in the will are things like your assets, your property, your car, your gold, silver. You can actually include the number of grams of gold you have, which I know is quite popular with the South Asian community, inshallah. So that's good. That's covered. So if things change, you end up buying more gold or gifted more gold. If it happens to be a joyous occasion. I mean, I wish I had friends and family that would give me gold. Actually, I don't know if that's an everyday thing. But yeah, if that ever happened, then you can literally just log back in to the portal, change whatever you need to change, update it, and then literally download it right away. Like, because mashallah Muhammad's already approved everything, at the first go, the second one gets faster. Yeah, but you don't even need to get it submitted for review. Like, you just literally change it, click submit, and download it right away. And you can that same day you can print and sign it again in front of two witnesses. And that part is very important. You do need to sign it and get your two witnesses to sign it again to make sure it is legally binding. Because otherwise, it's all well and good having it on your laptop or in the cloud somewhere. But if you haven't actually literally printed out a physical copy and signed it, then it won't be legally binding. And it's also important to either give it to your executives or trustees, like a copy, or put it into safekeeping. In fact, no, I would say and put it into safe. So you should definitely have one that you put into safekeeping for yourself, but you should definitely have your executors and trustees know where it is. And if you can, give them a copy as well. There's no harm in doing that. And if you do update it, every time you update it, make sure the previous one is shredded, and then you give them a new copy, inshallah. So, Shabir, I wanted to ask you, what is True Wills doing to educate the members of the public on the importance of will writing, aside from, I guess making people aware that this platform is now available. What else can we do as I guess founders to really take them down the educational loop that everyone, I guess, experiences when they encounter just something new that's such as Islamic wills.
Yeah, so I think this is one of our key drivers. Even when we initially like got together to set up True Wills, I was like, we need to set ourselves into a vision in terms of what we want to try and achieve, and what is our strategic driver that drives us towards this. And one of the key items that we kind of all agreed upon was like education and awareness is one of our key drivers, and everything that we are trying to do with Islamic wills is all about education and awareness. So, and like I mentioned at the start, Hassan, how we started this was by having basic webinars, just it's like Islamic wills for beginners, like breaking it down as much as possible, within a half an hour, 45 minute session, just giving them awareness of it, and we've been doing it quite regularly since October. During the month of Ramadan, we've used Ramadan FM. A massive thank you to them for allowing us to share that knowledge around Islamic wills, and the importance of it during the month of Ramadan. And inshallah, we're hoping to start doing the Islamic will awareness again from next month. I know we are considering doing an advanced Islamic will show, talking a bit more detail on the inheritance tax and all the complicated topics that people might want to learn and be aware of. So those are like the key piece of work that we're doing, and we are constantly trying to make sure that we put content, bite-sized content material out there for people to consume at their convenience. And I think this is something, Hassan, that you are quite passionately working on, is making sure that we have articles and blog posts that reflect the current state of situation and how it links with Islamic wills. So we're trying to educate everybody as much as we can. We're using social media as a platform to spread that message. So that's some of our key initiatives.
Excellent, wonderful. And yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to bring the webinars back to life. Alhamdulillah, we've done quite a few, mashallah. I've lost count of how many we've done. But I think because obviously with Ramadan, we took a break inside of Ramadan, and sort of focused our attention elsewhere. But next month, inshallah, I'm very excited to bring that back. So if anybody is interested in a basic introductory webinar on Islamic will writing, you can literally stay tuned to truewills.co.uk, our social media channels, and we're constantly sort of announcing the dates there, and you can register as well directly. It's all free, alhamdulillah. And if you've already got an Islamic will, then just pass it on to someone else, the link on to someone else. I'm sure they'll benefit. Now, the cost of an Islamic will with True Wills is only £98, Shabir, compared to hundreds of pounds that high street solicitors may possibly charge. I think one of the key factors here was to make it very affordable for the everyday Muslim. I think that was one of the things that definitely differentiates us from, again, high street solicitors who would charge hundreds of pounds, maybe for even an ear consultation. We talked, I guess, last week, I think it was with Mohammed, about the free will templates that are available online, and there are some that actually get you to fill everything out, and then once you've done it, you've got to go to the actual solicitor's firm and then discuss what you filled out and have a proper review with him and amend it, and all the bits and bobs that we would ordinarily do behind the scenes. And there are obviously things within the template that might be jargon filled. You might not understand what certain things are asking you to do, and because it's such an important document, you're pretty much leaving all of your life behind onto a few pieces of paper, right? So it's so important that you have someone guiding you through that process. And one thing we discussed, what the portal allows you to do is it allows you to have that one-to-one interaction with Muhammad himself, and also gives you that gives you that, I guess, positive encouragement, reinforcements of messages that are very helpful throughout the way, telling you what the definitions are for certain words, telling you why you're doing this bit. And you know, the last few minutes that we do have, Shabir, I want you to guide me through the portal. You know, what happens if, what do I do when I first log in? If anyone's listening out there and they want to create their website,
so
you know, the signed up, what is it that they're going to do step by step?
So just to kind of take a step back.
I'll give you 2 minutes. Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. Yeah. Okay. So first, when you log in, go to wills.truewills.co.uk. We ask you 5 simple questions. We ask if you have a spouse, do you have any children, do you own a home? All yes and no questions, and most importantly, do you live in England or Wales? And where is all your property owned, or where are they based in? Okay, so it gives us an understanding of what kind of is TrueWill suitable for you and how you could go about using the platform. And once you've signed up and once you've logged in, we've broken your Islamic will into 4 sections. One is capturing your basic information. So this includes a bit about you, your contact details, your marriage, your marital status. Do you have any children? Little information about your parents and other relatives within your family. So basically, your siblings, your uncles, just to help us calculate your inheritance. And then a little information about your accounts and property. We don't ask for any personal bank details. We just want to know who your providers are, so your executors know who to reach out to. And is there any particular charity that you want to leave a part of your wealth to? So that's the second part. And then the third part is choosing your executor. And if you added people in the will, in the previous steps, your executors will be auto-populated. So you just have to, it's just a checkbox exercise when it comes to this section. And then your final section is a wasiya section, where you could leave a message to your loved one. So, and then once it's done, you just continue, pay and submit. And then your will be in review with Ustad Muhammad Sulaiman. And then, within a couple of days.
Excellent. That was a great summary, mashallah, of how it's done. And one thing you touched upon was actually calculating the inheritance. Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll do behind the scenes is calculate, based on your circumstance, what each person within your family, household, extended family, immediate family members, what they would get from your wealth. They are, your legal heirs. In the Quran is stipulated how much each person is due. So we'll do all that legwork for you, work out how much is due to each person, so you don't have to worry about all that, which is great, alhamdulillah. So if anyone is listening, we're going to wrap up now. It's been, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. It's absolutely free. So thank you again for tuning in week on week, mashallah. Anyone who's interested, it's trueworlds.co.uk.
This is Ramadan 87.9 FM on your dial. From sun up to sundown, we'll be with you every step of the way.